everyone. Okay, I know that a couple of our friends on the Facebook group, We Love EC, has been asking a couple questions about a silhouette and what it can do for you and stuff like that when it comes to your planner. So I'm going to show you guys how to make stickers for your planner. Um, I actually bought this pattern. I'll show you how to open it up and everything, but I bought this pattern off of Etsy. I think for like $2 or $3, I believe. Don't quote me on the price. I don't remember. Um, and I thought it would be great to use in my planners. Now, I don't have an Erin Condren planner, but I did also buy some printouts of a pattern that I use, and it has squares like the Erin Condren planner. So this will kind of show you how you can use the silhouette, how you can do the print and cut feature, and also how to do the trace, because a lot of you asked on how to do this. So to get started, what I did was take shipping label paper. I don't know who this one is made by because I've had it for a very long time, but just the Avery shipping labels will work. And I don't know if you guys can really see, but there's no perforation or anything like that on it. It's just like a huge sticker. So what you want to do is you want to put that in your printer and get ready. I wrote backing on mine, obviously, to show me that. So I remember that the paper goes like this in the printer instead of having the correct side face up. So what we're going to do, when you open up your Silhouette Studio, you should get something like this. Basically, the big white like rectangle in the middle is what your cut area is going to be, and then the gray outside shaded area shows your mat, on where the paper would be on your mat, or your material would be on the mat. So in order to get a document here into Silhouette Studio, what you have to do is go up here to File, and then hit Merge. Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. And basically what this is importing your files or whatever you want to create or trace or do a print and cut on in your Silhouette Studio. So you go down here to the bottom and you have to make sure it's on all files, or else it won't read. And then mine in particular is on my desktop in my planner folder, which is right here. And I have it labeled as template 1. So I just double click on that and open it. And as you see, this right here is in a JPEG file, so it's naturally going to be kind of large. So I just size it down. And if you want to figure out like the direct measurements of what your squares are, so you can make squares that big, if you just measure them, which I didn't do because I didn't think ahead. Mine are roughly 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. So 1.25 by 1.375. All right, so what you want to do is you want to take this this picture that you have right here. Oh my goodness. And size it up. Now, if you want to, you can do all these and just make a grid pattern, but what I'm going to do is just show you one square. So I'm going to do this one. This quote, the "Be who you are, not who the world wants you to be." And I'm just going to kind of make it larger so I can see what I'm doing. All right, now you go up here on your right hand corner to the open the trace window button and you click on it and you go to select trace area and then you just want to make a box around the majority of what you want. I'm going to kind of leave the edges on it because I think it's cool. Because when I look back on it, it might be like, oh, I wonder what that was, and then go and find the pattern. So now your whole goal is to make the whole square yellow. So what you're going to do is put the value on your high pass filter all the way up and then unclick. Oh, actually, you don't even have to do that. Sorry. Sometimes it'll go yellow if you just play with a high pass filter, but on this particular piece, we're going to go threshold. So click your low pass filter and then put your threshold to 100%. And then go up to the middle and where it says trace and detach, click on that. And then what that does is it takes that one square that you highlighted out of the whole picture. So you can either save it for later if you want to cut it out individually, like one by one or whatever, or you can take this and delete it. And that won't affect your original picture. Your original picture will just stay that. It's like you're making an edited copy. So now what you want to do, I always like to zoom in because I like to see exactly what I'm getting. So you can take it down to a, what'd I say, a 1 1¼ by 1 3/4. Okay, so it'll be a little bit shorter than what I want. Just a little bit, but that's okay. So now what you can do is you can take this and kind of put it in the center of your page or wherever. It depends on how much you're making. You can certainly go and do more to fill up the page if you just want to print that, but for this sake, to save time, I'm only going to print one. Then you got to print your registration marks. Now your registration marks is what prints on the piece of paper when I send it to the printer. It prints registration marks, and then when you put it into your silhouette, what happens is your optical scanner that's right by your mechanism for the blade housing, it's going to scan exactly those registration marks, and that'll tell you the machine exactly where to cut. So you put it in the middle of your mat. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. It's been a long day. So you put it in the middle of your mat. You go up here to the right hand side and you open the registration marks window. And you want to hit on. And depending on what type you have to, like, there's the Cameo portrait, and then there's the original and SD. I have the portrait, so I'm going to click on portrait. And whatever your print to cutting, you do not want in those hash marks or that cage looking thing or on top of the black marks. So now after you have everything situated, if you want more or less on it, it really doesn't matter. Just make sure you don't put it in those marks. You're going to send it to your printer. And right now I have my HP on, which is in my office, which is in the garage. Why I have a bunch of mess. I hope you guys like my chili peppers over there. So, and then you just print it, and it'll send it to the printer. And once that prints out, I will be right back. Okay guys, now I'm back. Now this printed out, see it's the sticker, the backing, and you can kind of see it. It didn't print out in the best quality because I forgot to put it on fine quality, but it did print out. Hopefully I'm aiming that right. Now I have to take you down so you can see my portrait. Alright, so now I have my portrait all set up. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's a simple on and off button. This is the unload media page. This is load media. And then this is load the mat, because there's a different like heading size, I guess you would call it. And then this right here is your blade. And then in this box is the optical reader. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this and, oops, that fell. Okay, so I'm trying to do this one-handed. Sorry, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our material and we are going to load it. I normally load it into this right here, but there's like 3 different notches on what you can load it, or if you want it all the way to that side. So I just kind of load it right here, put it up to the rollers. Oh, and just a little FYI, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but this hole right here, you get to change your blade settings. And what that red notch is, it's on a 3. So for the sake of this material, I'm actually going to change it to a 1. But this right here, you can line up the arrows, and that changes your blade setting. Pretty cool. Nifty, huh? The blade itself comes like with a little gray cap on with it. That's also to change your blade, but I always lose those, or my son likes to play with them. So, and since we're not using a mat in this particular one, we are just gonna go, if I can get this lined up right over here to load media, and it loads it up. And then now, back to the computer, so you guys can see all my lovely faces. Yay. No. You go back here to the computer. Now, you don't have any red marks right here, which means that the silhouette does not know what you want cut. So, what you have to do now is create a red mark over, which I actually shouldn't have moved that around. Don't move that around, just in case, you guys. I think it was there. Yeah. So, just put that back. Create a red mark. So what we want to do is take this rectangle right here and just put a red cut setting over it. And then zoom in and try to make sure that your cut setting marks are flush with the edges of your picture. And then that way you'll get a clean cut on the edges. So I'm just going to move this in. If it cuts into the picture a little bit, I really don't mind. So put that like that. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to go up here, right here. Actually, I'm going to zoom out so it'll show you what it looks like. See, my paper wasn't long enough, so it didn't cut that bottom registration mark, which you can actually resize what your cut area or whatever your area you're going to do it is. So, like, I'm putting a regular, I think it's an 8 by 10. Yeah, probably an 8 by 10. So, naturally, because you're cutting mat, it's registering as an 8 by 11. Or 12, 8 by 12, I'm sorry. So you can resize it in order to show the bottom registration mark, which it really doesn't matter because I'm not cutting anything down there, so it's not going to affect it. But if you are cutting something all around this white area, then you definitely want to resize your paper to get an accurate read of what you have. So after we send it to our printer, what we're going to do is we are going to send it to the silhouette. And it says that my portrait could not connect. So what I think happened is I don't have my USB cord connected to my computer. Oh man, oh man. Okay, it's connected now. So if that happens, it'll say syncing and it'll say ready. And then as you see, everything on your workspace got kind of cloudy, which means that it's only showing you the cut area and what it'll look. So the only thing that this is going to cut, because you've already printed it, is the actual red lines right here. And then you just hit adjust cut settings down here. And you want to do like copy paper, I guess would be the length of it. And it's telling me, it'll give you pre-cut settings, and it's telling me to do blade 2, speed 10, thickness 15, and you can either double cut it right here. You can also do a test cut right here, which I always do just to make sure it doesn't go all the way through the paper. So you have a ratchet blade. You always want to make sure that what you're sending to it is selected, because down here is also a sketch pen setting. You can tell like your machine you have sketch pens where your blade would normally be, so anything that you were to cut would actually be drawn. It's actually pretty cool, which I'll make another video on that some other time. Sorry, there's like a mosquito. So just by experience, I'm not going to do it on that because my blade is fairly new, so I don't want it to cut all the way through the backing. So it'll become a kiss cut, which somebody asked about. What is a kiss cut? So a kiss cut is when you do not cut through the backing of whatever you're cutting on, and you can efficiently take apart everything. So very nicely, smoothly, easily, and that it cut through the material. So all right, so I'm going to adjust my blade to 1 because that's what I put it on. And then I like to slow it down, especially for the intricate cuts. The slower you go, the better it'll cut for some reason. I don't know. And then I always have my thickness down, probably about a 10. And I don't really want to double cut. So we'll see, make sure that's unchecked, and we'll see how that goes. You can adjust your cut settings as you go. But right now we're going to do a test cut, and it's going to send it to the machine and do a test cut. So now what we do is hit the unload media button, and it'll show that it did a test cut. No, it went all the way through my backing. So we want to take our thickness down way low. And I am going to leave that in. Line it up at the exact same place that you had it before. And then hit your media button. And now I'm just going to send it to the silhouette. So after I hit send to the silhouette, you'll see this beauty go to work. Oh, it says registration failed. So I'll have to go. Sorry, I just realized you guys were looking at my like chin for a minute. So I'll go retry manually. And then you hit register. No, that didn't work. All right, I'm going to pause you guys for a second and see what the deal is, and then I'll show you guys, I'll walk you guys through it. All right, guys, I have to do another cutting because somehow it's not reading my registration marks from my other one that I did. So I basically just redid it. I brought the registration in marks in more just by going to the registration mark setting, and then you can do like your left insert right here, top insert, right insert, bottom insert, and you can move those around. So for the sake of this case that hopefully it'll read it, I brought them in more. And also what I figured out what you want to do is you want to go up here to the page setting windows, and since I'm printing and cutting, I said that kind of weird. Anyway, since I'm printing and cutting on like sticker paper, I'm not going to use a mat. So you want to make sure that right here under cutting mat it says none. Or you can do like a portrait, which is an 8 by 12, a cameo, a 12 by 12, or a 12 by 24, or the stamp one, which I actually have. So, but you only want to use that for stamps because they have like vent holes in them. It's pretty cool. So, since I'm not cutting with a mat, I always select none, and then I'm going to send it to my printer once again. But this time I'm going to do it on my big printer, my brother that I have upstairs. And I'm also going to go to preferences. And I'm going to do paper and quality and do best. Because I think that'll give it, instead of these pointy lines on the other one that I printed, or I'm sorry, not pointy, but the lines going across it, because it wasn't set like to the best one. So I just did plain paper and best, and then you hit okay. And then I'm going to go print it, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Once again, sorry. Okay, guys, now I printed it again. As you can see, it's a lot better. You can see it more, as opposed to this one right here. See, major difference. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to load it once again into the silhouette. I always put mine on the, not the last big notch, but the last smaller notch on your right-hand side. And then hit media. And that one, it went in a little bit crooked, so I'm just gonna load it again. Now what I'm gonna do is go up here to silhouette, and then I'm going to go make sure my registration marks are okay. Portrait, cameo. And now I'm gonna send it to my silhouette. And of course it says registration failed. Okay, so I think in this case, what I'm gonna do, because I can't for some reason get my registration to work unless maybe I use a flashlight. So let's see if that works. Trying to find my flashlight on my phone. Sorry, guys. All right, I got my flashlight on, so I just kind of point it down towards where the cutting blade is. So let's see if I can do it again that way. Nope. I can't. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna do now is just go to my the cut page. Do copy paper. I restarted my program too, hoping that that was it, but sometimes it just likes to be a bung, so I'm just gonna hit, oh, actually I have to go up here to registration because it'll keep saying registration failed. So I'm just gonna go right up here to my registration marks and then hit off and then go to my cut settings, because really you still have that red mark, so hopefully it shows that it's 8 inches and it won't be too off, so we'll see. But you make sure it's copy paper, you know, cut style is your, you can do edge cut, or you can do cut, or you can do perforated, or perforate just the edge, or just perforate the whole thing. Like if you see right here, it'll be the circle and the square together, but it'll only do around the edge, or you can just do the whole thing right there. So copy paper, and then let's send it to the silhouette and hope and pray that it's lined up right and it'll work. So and it didn't, of course. So Anyway, in a perfect world, I think I have to put it on my mat, and I'll print out another one and do it again, and let's see if it works that time. But in a perfect world, it won't go through your backing. Tonight's one of those nights where it's not a perfect world, and it went through my backing. But as you can see, it will cut out the design. It kind of miscut a little bit because I think this is a little bit wider than what that read. So, you can actually take the backing off of it, and it is a sticker. See, oop. Which sticky, pretty cool. So that's how you can use it on your planners and stuff like that. And like I said, I'll redo what I can, and then I'll let you guys know how that turned out. All right, I'll see you guys later.